What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller back again. And I could not have picked a better day to bring on my first guest in my channel's history. And that's because the Niners traded up to pick 3. So let me get my guest on here so we can talk about this. Jeff, my man.
All right.
Jeff, I'm so glad to have you. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. But man, big news going on, obviously, in Niner Nation, man. It's crazy, man. So we got a lot to unpack here.
No doubt, and I'm pumped. So the 49ers traded pick 12 along with their 2022 and 2023 first and the third round comp pick in 2022. All right, so I wanted to lay that out there. Jeff, how do you feel about the move?
Well, it's an interesting move. I mean, it's probably the biggest move that the 49ers have made, really, especially a pre-draft move in the history of the franchise. So it's a big move. I mean, you're really putting all your cards out on the table, trying to go up, and obviously we all know what they're going to do with this number 3 pick. They're going for a quarterback. We know that. They're not saying that, but we all know that, even as just us as fans. So it's a bold move, and that's what's exciting about it, you know. And you like to see a team put all their cards on the table and just go for it.
Oh man, I'm so pumped. The fact that we're going after that single caller that is going to be our franchise guy, and they're going to get to pick from several guys. We're going to talk about who we both want to see the 49ers take, but moving up all the way to pick 3, it takes a lot of the uncertainty out of it, right? Because I was thinking, hey, maybe we can move up to 7 if a guy slips. No, we're up at 3. We're getting the guy. So, Jeff, who is that guy going to be?
Ooh, see, that's the big question, though. That is the $1 million question. It's not whether or not they're going for a quarterback. It's who are they going to go for, and who are they specifically targeting? Because first off, you're not going to give off that kind of draft capital just to wing it and just go, well, one of these guys is going to be there. My inclination, my thought with this situation is that they have some sort of an inside track with Robert Saleh in the Jets, and they have a good feeling with who they are going to select at number 2, because that dictates who's available to us at number 3. I personally think that the guy that they probably has the apple in Kyle's eye is Zach Wilson at BYU. I think that's the guy. He's supposed to go number 2 overall. We all know that. But the fact that he could potentially be available, and if they feel like he could be available, he has the type of skill set that I think that Kyle Shanahan covets. He's a dynamic athlete, and those are the things that he's going to bring under center for the 49ers, and I think that's why they went ahead and made the big move to today.
Jeff, I love me some Zach Wilson as well. I love Zach Wilson, but I'm thinking the Jets are taking him at 2. So you're thinking that the Jets – do you think that they're going to take a different QB, or they're going to roll with Darnold another year, or are we going to have to make another trade with the Jets? What's your thought process there?
I think that they have a guy that they're interested in either at 2, or they want to roll with Darnold. So that's a possibility that they just say, hey, you know what? We're going to take Penei Sewell and we're going to roll with Darnold and just go that route. Is Penei Sewell going to be the guy that they take? Are they going to take a guy potentially like Justin Fields? Is that who they covet? And if they have an inclination and that's what their direction they're looking to go, then that gave them the confidence to move up and have a chance to draft Zach Wilson. And I think that maybe that's the guy. And we'll go through maybe quarterback rankings at some point later on. But I think that Zach Wilson's going to be that guy. He's got the quick release. He has the athleticism that I think Kyle covets. He's a smart guy. He's probably be able to process the offense. And I think that's the direction that they're looking to go.
I would love that. Like I said, I love Zach Wilson, but I think the Jets are taking him too. So I kind of I got another guy in mind, and that's Justin Fields. Justin Fields, he has every tool imaginable, right? I mean, that he's mobile. He's got a strong arm. It's not in the Josh Allen territory, but it's strong. And not only that, but I listened to a PFF podcast, Jeff, and I had to steal the statistic from him. 65% of his throws 10 yards down the field were accurate. And that was the highest accuracy level in all of college football. The next highest was 56%. And then we're talking 10 yards down the field. He's got the ability to push the ball down the field. And I think that's something that Kyle Shanahan hasn't had. Jimmy does not do that. And I think Kyle's kind of licking his lips like, you know what? Hey, I got someone who can throw the rock down the field, and you're going to give me a mobile element. Now, the thing with Fields, you know, if you watch the Indiana game and the Northwestern game, they were bringing the heat on him. And there were some receivers that were running open. The hot reads were there, and he wasn't hitting them as fast as you would like to see it. So we're not talking about a flawless prospect, and I don't think any of these guys are flawless.
True.
But with the tools he has and Shanahan at the helm, I think Justin Fields can be really special.
No, I think he does, and I really agree with that assessment as far as him being such a toolsy guy, really having every club in the bag. I think that's a great analogy for somebody like him. I mean, he can throw it short, he can throw it long. And really, when you look at the offense that they ran at Ohio State, they really were pushing the ball down the field. And so for him to have a completion percentage above 60%, which to me is the benchmark on whether or not you should draft a guy in the first round, it was nothing short of impressive. So there's a lot of things to like about Justin Fields, and I like a lot of things about him as well. But what does concern me, and the biggest knock on him, is his post-snap processing. And that's what keeps me from, because I thought about this lots today. I'm like, who are they going to take? Who do they really like? And I understand the whole Zach Wilson's probably going to the Jets, and that makes a lot of sense to me as well. But is Justin Fields really the guy? Because Kyle needs somebody who can run the offense at a high level. And one of the problems that he's had with Jimmy is that Jimmy's not finding the open receiver. And my concern with bringing in a guy like Justin Fields is that he's going to continue to not find the open receiver. And that's going to be a reoccurring problem. You're going to get some big pluses, though. You're going to get somebody who can bomb it down the field. This guy can throw it 70 yards down the field. I mean,
he can throw the hashes too. Jimmy can't throw the deep outside the numbers. That's
he can do
thing Justin can bring. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, he has every club in the bag. So that's not an issue as far as arm talent, arm strength, being able to get the ball out. All that stuff is there. It's what's going on between his ears, everything above his shoulders. That's what we really worry about. And traditionally, that's what Kyle Shanahan really covets. He wants somebody who's not just intelligent, but can be intelligent when bullets are flying. And when you look at the Northwestern tape, when you look at the Indiana tape, that's a real big red flag. Is he's not seeing that hot read as far as, you know, where is his outlet? He's not getting the ball to his outlet. He's trying to do so much behind center. And so that's something that's going to have to be coached out of him. And maybe Kyle thinks that he can do it. He's the guy that can coach that part of it, his game up, and then bring all those physical tools into play. And now you got yourself a perennial Pro Bowler playing for the 49ers. So maybe that's the case. But I think that Zach Wilson gets the edge as far as what maybe Kyle Shanahan would covet due to the processing.
You know what? I agree with that. And if I would prefer Zach Wilson right now. I mean, I feel like the Jets are going to take him at 2, but you kind of set me up with my next question, because we said Fields, he might not be ready. He has some things he needs to improve, right? And guess what? We got a guy who took us to the Super Bowl by the name of Jimmy Garoppolo, still in a 49er uniform. So what do you think we should do with Jimmy? You think we bring him on? And here was a team that came to my mind when I was thinking about the situation. The Kansas City Chiefs had Alex Smith when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes sat behind him for a year. And you know what the thing is? I think Alex Smith showed Mahomes everything he knew and taught him. I'm not sure if Jimmy would do that with Justin Fields. I'm not sure. I'm not saying he won't. But
yeah,
it's a similar situation in terms of we have a guy that allows us, a QB that allows us to sit Justin Fields for a year, if this is our pick, whoever whoever we're taking at 3, we agree it's going to be a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's something that could benefit Justin Fields.
Oh, absolutely. I think any of these quarterbacks would benefit greatly from the opportunity to be able to basically just redshirt their rookie year, get them a Mahomes treatment. I'm definitely an advocate for that and just easing them into action and waiting till they're ready. I think the psyche of a quarterback is such a big deal. And if you throw them in before they're ready, they make mistakes. The mistakes get, that gets in their head, things compound. You get a snowball effect. So if you're investing, you're investing 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick into this next quarterback here. So you need to take care of this guy. Then give them really, you're making a franchise commitment to this player. It's not about 2021. It's about the next 10 to 15 years that really you're concerned about. So putting him in a situation where he could potentially sit is a really great thing. And also making him earn it in the beginning. Don't just hand him the keys to the car and say, hey, kid, have a great time. Make him actually come in and earn that starting quarterback role. So whether it's Jimmy that's the guy on the roster, or if it's somebody else, they bring in a free agent. Alex Smith is out there. But
that's a good point.
Alex Smith is out there. Whether or not he want to come to the Bay again, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a Jed York thing, and no thanks. But that's what worries me. Yeah, that's what worries me a little bit there. But yeah, I definitely agree. And I also agree with the point of whether how is that locker room dynamic going to work with Jimmy Garoppolo? They traded for him, right? They bring him in, then they give him the contract, right? Jimmy, they end up going to a Super Bowl with him. Now, if that's because of Jimmy or in spite of, we can talk about that all night. But he did go to Super Bowl with this team. And then now you drafted a quarterback, spend a significant amount of capital to get this other guy. And now you're all in the room together.
You take a QB at 3, you're saying, hey, you're our future over here. This pick number 3.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a great in-house situation. It's kind of like, you and your ex-wife are living with your new one, and it's a weird situation, and we brought Jimmy in because we thought he was the guy, and he's not. We're moving on from him. And so it could create a very odd dynamic in the locker room and the quarterback room specifically.
I feel like I've heard some stories that it might already be kind of weird between Kyle and Jimmy, but we don't know for certain. We're not in there, right. But I've heard some stuff about that. But okay, Jeff, if Zach Wilson goes number 2, like I'm expecting, even though I love Zach Wilson, who do you think we're taking? Or would you rather lean Mac Jones or Justin Fields, Trey Lance? Who are you taking at 3?
Well, I have it down to 2 players, and it's hard to pick here because you're trying to get into Kyle's head a little bit and psychoanalyze where he's at. On one end, you think Mac Jones because, he's that quick processor, great guy, great studier, hard worker, tough, strong in the pocket. He has a lot of things, accurate, all this stuff. So he has a lot of things that traditionally is a Kyle Shanahan-esque type of quarterback. But having Kyle Shanahan plays Russell Wilson twice a year, he lost in the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes, coming back on him in the fourth quarter. So, that game last year versus the Bills when they played Josh Allen, he just ripped us apart. It was nasty.
So good.
Oh gosh, it was nasty
for me. I was a little bit iffy on Josh Allen. I was like, is he really this superstar? I don't know, the accuracy, right? Because coming out of Wyoming, everyone was like, oh, the accuracy. So when they sold me on the accuracy problem, so I was cooled on Josh Allen, but watching that game, I was like, oh my God, accuracy problems. This guy was diming us down the field every time.
Yeah, it was nasty. Yeah, it was a bad day for for old Kyle and the crew. So, did that create some sort of a paradigm shift with him philosophically and what he likes in a quarterback? So if that has occurred, then Mac Jones is not the guy. Mac Jones is the old guy that he would have liked. And so I think the new guy he would have liked is somebody that we just talked about, and that's Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the guy, he can make every throw. He's dynamic. He's athletic. He's tough. So, he has that toughness and that's a big characteristic that Kyle really covets in quarterbacks is just how physical they are, and how do they handle being hit? How do they handle injuries? Those different things that Jimmy kind of struggled with. But Justin Fields brings that in spades. So I think if Zach Wilson is gone, and if he's looking for that dynamic playmaker, that athlete at quarterback that he can coach up, then Justin Fields would be the pick. If he's looking for the throwback of what he would normally like, the Matt Ryan, the Kirk Cousins, if he's looking for that guy, then it's Mac Jones. And so it's hard to decide which way he wants to go. But they know who they want. Guaranteed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't throw out all this draft capital and just go, yeah, I'll just pick a guy.
No. I'm thinking they love at least 3 guys, right? They got the 3rd pick. They love Trevor Lawrence. Everyone loves Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
They like Zach Wilson, I'm assuming. And there's another guy. We're thinking it's Justin Fields. Is it Mac Jones? Man, we won't know until draft day. I have a feeling.
No, this new regime at the 49ers is very different from the old one, where they keep their cards very close to their chest. They're very tight-lipped, exactly. And so I don't think we will know. And they like to play games. They do these pro day games where they, don't show up to one guy's pro day. Like they didn't go to McGlinchey's pro day a few years ago, but they were dead locked on him, And they do this kind of thing a lot. So they didn't go to Trey Lance's pro day.
That's a good nugget. I didn't know the one about the McGlinchey. Okay, so we shouldn't just rule it out, because I was kind of thinking, oh, they didn't go check out Trey Lance. You know what? We're not interested in that guy. Let's touch on Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. Do we think that he could be a Shanahan kind of guy? Is he looking for this run first? I mean, Trey Lance can throw, but when I watched the championship game, his 1AA championship versus James Madison, Jeff, they ran the ball 30 times with Trey Lance, and he threw it 10 times. So what does that say? It's like the coach is telling me when the game is on the line, the championship's on the line, he's running the ball.
Right. Yeah, it's Trey Lance. Trey Lance is a multi-year project. He's not a guy that you're going to bring in the top 10, in my opinion, and expect him to suit up week 1 or push whoever the incumbent veteran is for the starting position his first year. He's definitely a toolsy guy, and that's the allure to him. Some people kind of call him Josh Allen. I don't see that necessarily, that direct comparison, but the guy's got a cannon. Yeah, it is an absolute cannon. And he's very athletic. So there's a lot of things to like about him. He can run it. He can roll out. He's taken snaps under center, which I know Kyle covets that as well. So there's some things to like, but the fact that he had 1 year of experience at North Dakota State. He played 1 game this year, and not so great, but weird COVID year. You can't hold that against him too much. But it's really hard to sit there and say, now the 49ers spent 4 draft picks, 3 of them first rounders, and they're going to move up for a guy that definitely can't start next year. And it's debatable whether or not he could start in 2022.
I agree. Yeah, we agree on that one. I've kind of put Lance to the side. I think it's either Justin Fields or Mac Jones. Those are the 2, and it sounds like we're on the same page there. Hey, Jeff, do you have any last thoughts we got to share with the audience before we wrap up this video about our Trey? We're moving up to pick 3. I'm pumped. Are you pumped, Jeff?
Man, I'm really pumped. I love the fact that they just decided to go for it with one player. We all thought that maybe they would go for it with Watson. Obviously, that situation got a little weird, and so now they're coming in and saying, hey, we're going to put all our chips on the table, and we're going to go get our quarterback, the guy that we really like, the guy that we covet, and we're going to make it happen, and we're going to develop this guy and make him a star. I love that attitude from an organization. It's very much like how everybody loves what the Bucs did last year, how they grabbed Tom Brady, they went all in, they signed a bunch of free agents, and they went to go win a Super Bowl, and they pulled it off. And this is something maybe not to the same extreme, but I love what they're doing as far as just going for it. And it's exciting to watch, and I'm pumped to see who they're going to end up grabbing.
Yes, and you know what? I just thought of one more thing. Jeff, when we grab a rookie quarterback or a quarterback on a rookie contract, that opens up so many options. Now we can build a great roster with a rookie quarterback, paying him 3 or 4% of the total cap. So
absolutely.
So I'm thinking we're going to build we can retain Fred Warner.
Oh, it's done. Yeah. Once we move Jimmy one way or another, Fred Warner, we can just extend him. That's not going to be an issue whatsoever. And all these contracts people are worried about, like Trent Williams' third year of his contract and Kyle Juszczyk's third year of his contract. But we're going to have a rookie quarterback, so we're going to be able to make it work in a couple more years post COVID. So we're going to be all right. And they got the new TV deal and all that stuff. So they're going to be looking good. They're going to be a good spot cap wise and be able to continue to load the roster. So I'm not worried about the loss of the draft capital, because I think they're going to be able to fill their gaps through free agents and guys will want to come play here because you got yourself a star quarterback. And that's going to be a big pull to any potential free agents. So you're going to be able to sign veteran guys for the next several years. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Let's go get our star QB, Jeff. Let's go. Hey, Jeff, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man.
We got to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. This was definitely fun, man. We'll do it again.